Memes, trolling, shitposting, why do we do it? Memes have been a part of the internet since its early days, and since then different meme communities have formed and grown large. Some are in so deep that to an outsider it's like they're speaking a different language entirely. Group in-jokes and terminology dominate their comment sections, especially with shitposting because of its confusing and ultimately pointless nature. The exact definition of a shitpost can be pretty broad and hard to nail down, but Peter J. Woods describes it in his article Shitposting as a public pedagogy as a specific kind of meaningless post, often in the form of a meme. As he describes a specific shitpost, he explains that it mirrors the aesthetics associated with a particular brand without providing any cohesive meaning within the text or between the words and visuals in the image. And this shitpost then undermines the self-serious nature of the discourse that defines this particular kind of social media post. As you can see, it features misspellings and essentially no overall meaning. Some communities, however, can make shitposts that appear to have no meaning to outsiders but actually do to insiders. Sean McEwen said in an article on Facebook, shitposting is about misbehavior, about not following previously established rules of discourse and discussion. Because of that, the insiders can feel a sense of community between themselves and build a strong passion over whatever it is they're memeing about. On a site like Reddit, these communities can grow large enough to have big posts land on the site's front page and be seen by many site-wide. This is a critical moment where insider terminology is being shown to outsiders. It can create a sense of being left out. That can create a lot of fervor around a piece of media and skyrocket its popularity. And for that reason, memes and shitposting communities have become one of the most powerful tools for advertising, not only just for media like movies, TV shows, games, or sports, for example, but also for politics. However, this phenomenon can have negative side effects. The quality of content that is memed is often quite polarized, I've found. Extremely well-regarded shows like Breaking Bad can become a trending shitposting topic, but the same can be said for content that's widely regarded to be very poorly made, like Amazon's War of the Worlds, for example. It gains popularity because of how easy it is to make fun of. Anyway, this fervor from a fear of missing out is a real phenomenon that has led to the creation of subreddits like r/outoftheloop, which allows users to post asking for explanations about things they've been hearing a lot about. A lot of the posts there ask about Reddit, YouTube, or celebrity drama, and the other popular topic in the community is specific IRL events, particularly between political figures like Trump, Biden, or other world leaders. Two subreddits have very much grown in popularity recently, however, that center around explaining inside jokes. These would be r/explain the joke and r/Peter explains the joke, the latter of which is in itself a shitpost subreddit, or themed to be one anyway. It seems a lot of the posts in these communities may just be proof of the dead internet theory, as they ask to explain jokes that only a bot wouldn't understand. But aside from those, most of the posts are from other communities making inside jokes that the poster in this subreddit wants to understand. Whether that other subreddit be for a specific game or TV show or whatever really, the spread of its insider jokes is the spread of the community, and the piece of media that it has dedicated itself to. The idea that memeing is a powerful tool for advertising isn't all that new. For example, a research article from Psychology and Marketing claims that their study found that viral memes are topical and highly relatable and are thus well received by the target groups, which increases customer engagement and brand recall. Over the past few years, more and more actual advertisements have used meme formats. Rather than using memes as advertising, it makes a single advertisement or a sponsored post look like a meme. This does a couple of things. For one thing, it makes it blend in better with the actual content, so users are less likely to even realize that they're looking at an ad. But it also might make the advertisement more relatable or memorable. Other than just looking like a meme, by using similar formatting, ads can also use pre-existing trends to boost engagement. This strategy has recently hit the movie industry hard, as Digiday noted in an article on the topic. The article describes how the Instagram for the film Beetlejuice posted videos of some of the actors that featured trending audios. For example, Michael Keaton in full Beetlejuice garb using the trending audio sound, "Is it me? Am I the drama?" The article also describes how the marketing for the film Twisters also used trends to boost massive engagement. This is pretty straightforward advertising at this point though. Companies are naturally going to start using internet culture for relatability in their advertising, so slick marketing campaigns were eventually going to catch up and target the younger generations with viral TikTok trends. However, there is something even more powerful than this, and that would be user-generated content, i.e. meme trends, shitposting, and mindless reposting. If a company is able to channel millions to post about their content for them, then their own audience is increasing the size of itself. Nazar Yeremis wrote about this in his master thesis crisis, specifically through the lens of the Barbenheimer phenomenon. He calls it open source branding and explains that users do it voluntarily and without consideration of any economic benefit to the brand that they meme. Barbenheimer was a particularly potent occurrence in which the two movies Oppenheimer and Barbie were premiering on the same night. Memes arose due to the contrast between the films, and shitposting is particularly good at lightening the mood around such a dark premise like Oppenheimer. Yodermis notes that Barbenheimer came from the habit of social media users to memify everything, and found that the release of Barbie and Oppenheimer marks the highest grossing weekend in movie theaters since the COVID-19 pandemic, reaching $302 million worldwide, correlating their success with their memification. Huge meme trends like that can persuade a lot of people that wouldn't normally be so interested in actually going out to the theaters to do so. Especially in the case of Barbenheimer, there would normally be fear that two blockbuster productions premiering on the same night would split audiences, but because of the Barbenheimer meme, viewers wanted to watch them both in succession to get the full Barbenheimer experience. These trends virtually determine what gets popular in the realm of television nowadays. With the advent of short-form content on TikTok, Instagram's Reels, and YouTube's Shorts, it has become extremely popular to post and circulate clips of TV shows. As clips grow more and more popular, more people see them and start wanting to watch that particular TV show. This actually worked on me pretty easily. With the revival of the Dexter franchise, Dexter Resurrection, came an onslaught of Dexter repost clips on Shorts and Reels, as well as a trend of many memes. After seeing so many clips and memes and hearing some friends that started watching it, I was actually convinced to watch the show, and I quickly consumed 4 seasons of it. As I did so, I began to understand inside jokes behind the memes, and I became an insider to the Dexter community, which is what I sought. Other shows also fit this bill, like the medical show House MD that recently circulated in short-form clips heavily. Memes about the show have become insanely popular despite the fact that it ended over a decade ago. When The Office was added to Netflix and memes about it circulated online heavily, it also had a huge surge in popularity several years after the show had ended. Memes becoming a large part of a TV show's success isn't exactly new. One of the first viral memes would even appear later in a TV show at the time. I'm talking, of course, about the dancing baby meme in 1996 that gained popularity for its disturbingly realistic nature. It showed up in other media for a few years after, notably the law drama Ally McBeal. It can't be said that that led to any success, and the scene itself was rather strange as the titular character Ally was having an hallucination of the dancing baby. Nonetheless, a show's memeability has been a notable factor in its popularity. Again, not a new notion, as it was remarked in an Artifice article in 2014. The article explains that the way we consume television has changed, and it is less about what makes each individual aspect of a show good and more about how it is received by the masses. We no longer just watch shows with our family or friends, but with millions online, because we share so much content about those shows. When we don't know what to watch next, we look to the online hype to see what's big. The article highlights an important point of mine. The saying, no publicity is bad publicity, is truer now more than ever when applied to television. It goes on to explain how backlash over the How I Met Your Mother finale's flop wasn't necessarily a bad thing, as more people would tune in just to see how bad it might be. The most important thing the article notes is this is the age where reviews do not necessarily matter. As long as there is an extreme love or hate for a television show, it will be watched. In other words, the content that does best is polarized because of how its popularity is spread online. A great example of this is a subreddit called r/shittymoviedetails. This community is not actually specifically about details for bad movies, it is about bad details for any movie. That is to say, this subreddit is not dedicated to talking about bad movies, but you'll quickly find that the most prolific posts are, in fact, about bad movies. They're easier to make fun of, and jokes pretending they're absolute cinema are easy to repeat and spread. Huge examples would be the film Morbius, which made a more $1 billion in the box office, and the previously mentioned War of the Worlds movie on Amazon Prime, which is widely considered to be a cinematic disaster, but is often referred to jokingly as a masterpiece. On the opposite end of that, I've found is a whole library of shitposting subreddits dedicated to different TV shows, and typically they only pop up around highly regarded television. These would be the string of OK Buddy subreddits. Some of the bigger ones would be OK Buddy Chicanery for Better Call Saul, OK Buddy Vicodin for House MD, OK Buddy Viltrum for Invincible, or OK Buddy Just a Tourist for Andor. As you can see, even the names of the communities are inherently inward-facing, considering they're named after specific lines in the series, like the heavily memed Chicanery rant in Better Call Saul, the titular character's Vicodin addiction in House MD, the alien planet Viltrum in Invincible, and a scene in Andor where the titular character is getting arrested and claims he's just a tourist. These communities are very very isolated between the insider and outsider because their memes have become so complex that they almost appear as another language. r/OkBuddyChicanery's biggest meme, and something mentioned numerous times in every comment section, kid named Finger, comes to mind. This is a reference to a single post on the subreddit that was a meaningless joke. Rather than the punchline here being about a kid named Paint making a sexual joke, the punchline is kid named Finger, which is nonsensical, the joke being that there is no working joke, the epitome of a shitpost. Using this one post as a common in-joke at every opportunity to do so is like a code for the insiders to follow. Other jokes involve specifics you would have to watch the show to know, like the common meme format every episode ever. In this example from the House MD shitposting subreddit, it is a poor quality video that essentially boils every episode's plotline down to only a couple individual events and every character's personality to just one trait, and often exaggerates how often certain phrases are said for humorous effect. In order to find this kind of post funny, you would have to watch a significant amount of whatever show it is making fun of. This brings that effect of FOMO, as does the r/shitty movie details post about poorly made films. It seems that online content can just be a highly polarizing affair, and few things are as polarizing as politics. And a lot of political opinions are shared in online political meme communities. Just like communities center around sharing memes about different TV shows, political communities share memes with similar ideologies. Rather than determining what shows one another should watch, they help users determine what sources to trust, events to talk and worry about, and who to like and dislike. The biggest thing they have in common, though, is that they have their own languages. In an article about alt-right meme culture, Beth Daviess lists 3 rules behind the online network. Stay anonymous, there are no leaders, and rule number 1, speak the language. She explains that the most extreme alt-right forums can look almost unintelligible to those unversed in their particular vernacular. The terminology, abbreviations, and allusions are so saturated that it sometimes appears that users are conversing in a type of code. A similar description can apply to non-political shitposting subreddits because there's a similar type of culture behind shitposting about TV shows or movies as there is politics. And for that reason, just like how memes can be channeled to advertise movies, they can be used to advertise political campaigns as well. This type of insider-outsider dynamic was a powerful tool in the Pennsylvania senator race in 2022 between John Fetterman and Mehmet Oz. Oz was heavily memed on for his TV persona, Dr. Oz. Fetterman used these memes to his advantage and used humor that was specific to the area of Pennsylvania because Oz mainly lived in New Jersey and had only registered to vote in Pennsylvania a couple years prior. With that humor, Fetterman achieved 2 strategies, according to a research article in Communication and Critical Cultural Studies. First, in jokes casting Oz as a geographic outsider, and second, in positioning Oz as a class outsider. Memes and shitposting communities, especially in terms of the political landscape, very often situate themselves in this insider-outsider dynamic with their own vernacular and in-jokes. In the case of media, this can carry a FOMO effect that brings in new insiders, but in this case, it can be used to unite insiders towards a common goal. That effect is often incredibly polarizing, making members more passionate about a particular candidate, in this case liking Fetterman and disliking Oz, to a substantial degree. No one in America has channeled this degree of fandom better than New York mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani. Mamdani's win over Andrew Cuomo came from a massive online presence, so much so that even I was getting Mamdani content in my feed despite not living in New York. He himself didn't shitpost, as a Wired article on the topic notes. He stayed laser-focused on politics while his fandom had their fun. But that didn't stop him from posting in-jokes like a Good Morning clip imitating Indian WhatsApp images and videos that frequently feature bold text and visuals as well as inspirational quotes. Although mimicking a specific style, to the uninitiated, this kind of content looks like a shitpost, and it's a powerful tool to create an in-group and an out-group. Considering the frequency with which Trump tweets, it's no question that politics now lives on the internet. And Chayka put this well in an Infinite Scroll article, saying, "Social media isn't just politicized, it is the politics." Whether it be movies, television, video games, or even politics, shitposting is a powerful tool for advertising. The insider-outsider dynamic creates a FOMO effect for media and organizes constituents in elections. However, it is not always the case that these effects make the best content the most popular. It appears that well-regarded content is pushed to the extreme and widely hated content is brought into the spotlight undeservingly. Should we be watching terrible productions like Prime's War of the Worlds, giving them our money for crappy content just because it's easy to make fun of? What kind of behavior is that encouraging for studios?